hello. It is Wednesday, May 7th, 2025. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It's a Wednesday crossword today, so we're going to be solving a midweek, mid-difficulty themed crossword. And today's mid-difficulty, midweek themed edition of the Daily Solve has been brought to us by Alex, Kathleen Quinn, and, as always, the indomitable Showmaster and the indefinable Charlie Paget. Thank you so much to the four of them, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign, for their generous support. They do, of course, sustain this channel. They keep it going day in, day out, and for that, I'm very grateful to them. Thank you so much to the four of them and to everybody who supports the channel via Patreon. If you'd like to support the channel in that same way, you can head to patreon.com/dailysolve or click the description field link where you'll find a bonus video of it. Well, not a bonus video. You'll find many bonus videos available to patrons. And for benefactors like those I've just mentioned, the Let's Check the Crosses official mug. This is a week packed with bonus videos as I am concluding my catch-up from having been on holiday. So enjoy those if you're a patron, and thanks if you're considering signing up. There's a link in the description field. And, of course, there's also a link in that description field to the Daily Solve Discord chat server, a nice friendly chat community. And finally, it's also a big help to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thanks if you've done that. It does help spread these videos. All right, let's get on to today's crossword by Tom McCoy, who's constructed a few dozen puzzles for the New York Times. This is a themed Wednesday crossword, and it was edited, as always, by Will Shorts. Let's start solving, shall we? Manly. Manly, what would that be? For some reason, I honestly can't think of a five-letter synonym off the top of my head. Bert or Ernie, either one of them is a Muppet from Sesame Street. Let's see. Manly. Macho. There we go. That's a good five-letter equivalent. Okay. Relaxed. If you're relaxed, you're at ease. And many graphics in business presentations, or charts, very common in business presentations. A mild expletive might be heck, maybe? Let's see. There might be other ones. Let's see if that works. Uther Pendragon, father of King Arthur. There we go, in the legends. And wheel on a school bus-themed cake, perhaps. An Oreo. Here's a new way to clue the official snack cookie of the New York Times crossword. I've never seen this one. And Oreo serving as the wheel on a cake that is itself shaped like a school bus. Very good. All right, and here we've got something thematic, presumably. We've crossed out nonviolent protest. We've crossed out a farewell to artist Chagall. And we've returned to nonviolent protests. So artist Chagall, that would be Marc Chagall. Peace. Is there another Chagall? I'm thinking of maybe Peaceniks. Nonviolent protest. Peace march. So we've got an H. What on earth? I don't understand what's going on here. Sorry. I can see nonviolent protest, which is a peace march, and I can see a farewell to artist Chagall, which is peace, comma, Marc, M-A-R-C, which is how Marc Chagall's name is spelled. I don't understand. I can understand if peace M-A-R, does that mean nonviolent protest? Because I could sort of imagine each one of these lines were sort of as a peace mar, no, we'll cross that out. Peace mark, no, we'll cross that out. Peace march, there we go, that's the one I want. But I don't think peace mar is a nonviolent protest. Oh, okay, I don't quite understand what's going on. Sorry about this. But we've concluded with a nonviolent protest, which is a peace march. So I guess in that sense, it's enough to be getting on with. All right, hot chocolate holder. You could have a mug of hot chocolate. You can also hold your hot chocolate in the official Let's Check the Crosses Daily Solve mug available to Patreon benefactors at the Daily Solve Patreon campaign. I need to remember to show that on camera occasionally. Anyway, an activity that turns an urban area into an obstacle course is parkour, which I remember being really big around the sort of turn of the millennium, maybe. To get equipped for would be to rearm, no. Don't know, not sure. Go with one's gut. There we go. Get equipped for. Gear up. Is that a phrase? To gear up? That sounds plausible. Extravagant type of fundraiser, a gala, big party. The cruelest month, per T.S. Eliot. April is the cruelest month, he poetically declared. And to get ready to seal as an envelope, you could lick the edge of the flap of the envelope if it's one of those types. Awesome, epic, and feel the pain is to ache. All right. So to contain is to keep in, maybe? That sounds plausible. One of 16 over the course of the Ming Dynasty, and 16 emperors, presumably over the course of the Ming Dynasty, so one of them would be an emperor. Comic strip sound of impact, a splat, maybe? Oh, no, that doesn't quite work, sorry. Kapow, maybe? Let's see. Drawer or door part? I don't know. This might not be kapow. This looks a bit strange. Oh, it's one of these. Endure or display some humorous posters. Endure. So no to endure, no to display some humorous posters, and then yes to endure again. Put up with. So, yeah, again, I understand the display some humorous posters, which is to put up wit. So you're hanging, you're putting up witty posters, humorous posters, and then endure is to put up with. But what's the first endure? Oh, I don't understand this theme. I'm really sorry about this. Hopefully the revealer explains it. Feelings of animosity. I don't know. It probably ends with an S. Oh, it's another one of these. Notre Dame team, asset in a staring contest, and Notre Dame team. I think the Notre Dame University team is called the Fighting Irish. So asset in a staring contest, a fighting iris. Right, there we go. So what the... I don't know. I don't get it. All right. Feelings of animosity, right. First rate is... I don't know. This could be a C, maybe. Blank, yes, it is. Eco mode must be a fuel efficiency option in some cars. That sounds incredibly plausible to me. Pi follower, pi row. To go by car is to motor, as in a motorist, what a motorist does. First rate is top notch. There we go. That's what that is. Oh, enmities, feelings of animosity. There we go. That's what that is. So you've got negative feelings or aggressive feelings towards someone. Among other things, etc. And drawer or door part. Oh, a door knob or a drawer knob, like a drawer pull. Okay, there we go. And then theater boxes are amps, I suppose. So in this case, not a theater box in the place where sort of fancy people might be sitting, but rather the box that emits amplified sound, an amplifier. Okay, so Face the Nation error. That'll be CBS. That's a political news program, I think. Or political interview show, actually, I think is what that is. Okay. Seeks help from is turns to. One seeks help from someone, one turns to them. And then Ahab's blank chapter in Moby Dick. Ahab's leg, probably, which was bitten off by his nemesis, the great white whale, Moby Dick. A scientist played by David Bowie in 2006's The Prestige. That was, he played Nikola Tesla in that Christopher Nolan film. And one who might receive a letter at school. An athlete, they might have, sort of letter jacket for being on a varsity sports team. GPS datum, so might be your ETA, your estimated time of arrival, furnished via your, sort of route making app that uses GPS. A little bit of everything. An atom is sort of a little bit, that is in everything all around us. Okay, if one chops something off, one lops it off. And hoppy bar choice for short. An IPA, an India Pale Ale, is a hoppy beer with strong hops flavor. Okay, so we've got another one of these that I'm sure I won't understand. So figure it out. Let's see that dance move where you lie flat by a door and once again, figure it out. I was going to say dance mats, but no, we're not going to have dance in the answer because it's already in the clue. Figure it out. Probably ends in an E. What is this? Browbeat. To browbeat someone is to... I can't think offhand. What about this? Amenity attached to an airplane seat. Attached. An armrest or a tray table or maybe one of the little screens. I don't know, a sort of power outlet or USB outlet. What other amenities are attached to an airplane seat? A footrest, maybe? Oh, that would work. That would fit. Footrest. Let's see if that works with this. Downside. Downside is a low? I don't know about that. Courageous. And media for old music players. MP3, I mean, we're not going to put a 3 in the grid, I don't think. Media for old music. Oh, old music players. LPs, perhaps. Vinyl records in a phonograph. Downside, yes, the downside. Well, downside could be a low. This looks a bit strange, though, so maybe not. Downside. Figure it out. Maybe not LPs. Arrogant. Well, arrogant walk is a strut. Although that's just the plural. That could be anything. Maybe CDs. Something in between MP3s and LPs. Let's see. Yes, the downside is a con, as in pro and con. That's correct. Okay, so to figure it out, do the math. It's not mate, it's math. Do the math is to figure it out. So do the mat might be someone saying, let's see that dance move where you lie flat by a door. Do the mat. Yeah, okay. But I still don't understand why the first figure it out. What that means. Do them? Doesn't really make sense. Okay, I don't know. I'm obviously missing a very straightforward and central element of this theme, and I just don't know what it is. Courageous. If you're courageous, you're intrepid. There we go. To go over again is to reread, maybe? Maybe I should be doing that with these clues. Feels the pain is hurts. And if one shed tears, one wept. Path is away, and a disclaimer on a secondhand product would be sold as is, no returns. CPA, Certified Public Accountant's column header, perhaps, would be year to date on some kind of balance sheet or something. Galaxy downloads, right, so that's Galaxy, I think it's a Google phone maybe, or no, Samsung Galaxy, I guess, are apps. Media blank, one's daily news consumption, so to speak, your media diet. And finally, here's our revealer. Let's see if it helps me out. City that had the final letter of its name removed in 1891, only to be restored in 1911. Oh, it's an H. I only just realized that it's an H in every case. Pittsburgh? Oh, okay. It's simpler than I was making it. We were starting with the whole thing. Nonviolent protest, we just start with the entire thing, Peace March, then we remove the H, then we put it back again, just in the same way that apparently, and I did not know this, but Pittsburgh, I guess, had that final H removed in 1891 and then restored in 1911. What a funny thing. I wonder what precipitated that. Okay, all right. So I was overcomplicating it, but there we have it. We've just taken the H off and put it back on again. That's how these work. All right, so to pull on something is to tug on it. Watt or Newton is a unit of measurement. And then symbol in the Bluetooth logo for one is a rune. Yeah, that's a funny thing. If you're not aware of this, Bluetooth is named for, I think, Harold Bluetooth, who is a Danish king somewhere around 1,000 years ago, the 10th or 11th century, I believe. And Bluetooth wasn't his, it was a sort of name by which he was known. I don't remember what his actual full name would have been, but Yeah, the Bluetooth uh, sort of connectivity standard is named for him. It has something to do with his legacy as something. It's something to do with how he ruled or sort of consolidated political power or something. And so that I think that this sort of Bluetooth standard was meant to be a kind of unifying standard, and that's kind of a reference to him. And I think the Bluetooth symbol is maybe some kind of stylized way of rendering his name or initials or something like that. Anyway, sorry, that wasn't a very that wasn't a very detailed explanation, but I enjoy that fun historical reference in the Bluetooth standard. Anyway, sci-fi publisher whose logo is a rocky peak, Tor, whose name references mountainous peak, and then wrath is ire, anger, and then domain would be a realm, such as that of Harold Bluetooth, perhaps. Unconcerned with right and wrong. If you're unconcerned with right and wrong, you're amoral. And to wish that one could do something is to long to. Yeah, that makes sense. Fits well with is meshes with. So here we have the antagonist in Calvin and Hobbes. Boy, I loved Calvin and Hobbes when I was growing up. And Mo was the sort of big burly bully character from that strip, classic Bill Watterson comic. For reference, it's over 21,000 pages in brief. The Oxford English Dictionary, presumably. And the in brief just means that we're abbreviating the answer. So Oxford English Dictionary becomes OED. Browbeat is to henpeck? No. To heckle? No. I can't say it immediately for some reason. What about this? ENTs, e.g., are doctors. Ear, nose, and throat doctors. Basics are the ABCs. Gagarin in space, Yuri Gagarin, famous Soviet cosmonaut, of course. And missile chambers are silos, missile silos. A slatted case would be a crate. And then kids' items that can come in packs of 8 and 168, apparently. Crayons, I guess, come in particularly huge packages at times. So, to browbeat someone is to hector them. Okay, that is the case. So Mexican money is the peso, that's the Mexican currency, and then organization that might have you put your belt on a belt. The TSA, you might have to take your belt off and put it on a conveyor belt to be x-rayed. So at the airport for security purposes. And then highlight is a star. It's a light high up in the stars. So, or the sky. There we go. All right, that was it. Here we have our Pittsburgh theme puzzle that really I overcomplicated, as it's easy to do that with themes because you don't know. You don't know what it's going to end up being necessarily. So what a funny thing that its name was amended and then simply amended back to its original form. I'd love to know if there were sort of city council meetings about this or something, and what they consisted of. If there are minutes from those. It's amazing actually sometimes how many primary sources we have of like relatively mundane historical things. I saw the Mike Leigh film Mr. Turner the other day about the artist J.M.W. Turner. It's absolutely great film, and Mike Leigh was there to do a Q&A afterwards, which was great, the director. And they talked about the Turner bequest, which was that the artist Turner left his entirety of his creative work to the British state so that it could be exhibited freely. And I was sort of just curious about this, so I was searching online for it. And I ended up finding the Hansard accounts, which are the written accounts of parliamentary discussion that go back a couple of centuries. And so I was actually reading the parliamentary discussion of the Turner bequest from, I think this was in maybe 1855, and it was just sort of incredible to watch. In this case, it was in the House of Lords, but to read these parliamentarians sort of discuss the finer points of this will that apparently Turner did not construct in a very sort of legally bulletproof manner. And one of the lords said the late Mr. Turner could draw anything, but one thing he could not draw, apparently, was a will. And so there's, I just sort of was, reading this like dense political typewritten. Well, I guess it was. I guess it would have been handwritten at the time. But this account of parliamentary language, and found this tiny little sort of burn from 170 years ago, and it was amazing to me that that was just recorded and available. So anyway, I wonder if there's anything similar about the renaming of Pittsburgh that can be dug up. Minutes of some council meeting from 1891. Anyway, so let's take a look back through our theme. We had our Peace March, which becomes Peace Mark, a farewell to artist Chagall, and returns to Peace March, a nonviolent protest. We had To Endure, to Put Up With, which becomes Put Up Wit, to display some humorous posters, only to return to its original form. We had the Fighting Irish, the Notre Dame team, which becomes a Fighting Iris, an acid and a staring contest, only to return to the Fighting Irish. And finally, we have To Figure It Out is to Do the Math, which became Do the Mat. Let's see that dance move where you lie flat by a door, only to return to Do the Math, Figure It Out, just as did the name of the city, Pittsburgh. And there we have it. That was the Wednesday crossword. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll be back tomorrow to solve a Thursday crossword. Could be a more involved theme than this. Hopefully it doesn't give me too much more trouble than this one did. But do join me for that potentially tricky puzzle. Until then, please do have an excellent remainder of your Wednesday. Take care.